welcome to my channel. This is Anamika and I am currently studying in Japan as a MEXT scholar. So today's video is gonna be all about MEXT scholarship. So let's get started. Firstly, we'll get to know what MEXT is. So MEXT is basically Ministry of uh, Education, Culture, Sports, Science and Technology of Japan, and it offers international student to study in Japanese universities for free. Like it covers all the expenditures from tuition fees to admission fees and education fees and all sort of fees, and it also gives you monthly stipend to study here in Japan. It's basically like a scholarship that promotes and encourage international students to come and study in Japan. Now there are 7 different types of scholarships that MEXT offers, and most popular of them are research scholarship and undergrad scholarship, and others are like specialized college training student, college of technology student, Japanese study, young leaders program, and teacher training program. You can find like every detail of all of these scholarship on the MEXT official website. Each and everything, the procedure, the timeline, the ways to apply the documents, and everything is listed on the website. So go through the website, the official website, to know about the application process in detail. So in today's video, I'm gonna talk in detail about the research category, as both the master's and PhD comes under the research category. And as I'm a master student, so I know more detailed procedure of the master category and all. So I'll cover about that. Now let's discuss what the scholarship benefits are, like what does it covers. So your education fee, that includes the tuition, admission fees, and your exam fees will be exempted by the MEXT. The MEXT will bear all the responsibilities for it, and your one round trip from your country to Japan, like firstly when you land in Japan, and secondly when you go back to your country after you finish your degree, then that round trip would be given by MEXT, sponsored by MEXT. And in between, if you want to go back to your country in vacation or anything, you have to cover your own expenses. So MEXT covers all that expenses and then gives you monthly stipend to bear all your personal expenses, which is around like 143k yen, like 1,43,000 yen, which is approximately to 85,000 rupees if you are a non-regular student. And if you are a PhD student, and then you'll get approx 1,45,000 yen, which is around 87,000 rupees per month. One more thing I would like to add, that the stipend can also vary upon prefecture to prefecture where you live in Japan. For example, if you live in Osaka or Tokyo or Kyoto, like the major cities where your living costs are high, your expenditure might be high because of the cost of food and housing and everything. So MEXT will distribute your stipend accordingly. So probably you'll get few thousand yen more if you are living in big cities. So it depends on that. Now about the eligibility criteria is as follows. For the master student, you should have a bachelor degree in 65 with minimum of 65% of marks. And for the PhD student, it's like you should have a master's degree with minimum of 65% of marks. So now coming to the application part, the application procedure has 2 tracks. Firstly is the embassy track, and the another one is the university track. So in embassy track, firstly you qualify your embassy round, then you apply to the university, then your application goes to the MEXT. In university track, what you have to do is you have to contact to your university or your professor first, and then they approve your application, then they send your they send it as a recommendation to MEXT, and then MEXT decide whether you get the scholarship or not. In university track, there is no involvement of your country's embassy. They both have different timeline. So I am an embassy track scholar, so I would tell you the details about the embassy track scholarship. The timeline for the embassy track is around like mid of April to mid of May. So now we'll discuss about the procedure that you have to go through if you plan to apply through embassy track MEXT scholarship. So the first round is like preliminary application round, where you have to fill the preliminary application form and then email it to the embassy. All the procedure of doing it and filling it correctly is all mentioned in the MEXT website. So check website as much as possible to be updated with all the notice and everything. I'll link the website down in my description box, so you can check that out from there. If you pass the preliminary application round, then you have to go through the first screening process, which includes the interview round and the written exam round. So what happened in my case was like I was a 2021 applicant. So at that time, due to COVID, the written examination was cancelled. Uh, as much as I know, like for the research category, the written examination is basically Japanese and English examination to test your prior knowledge about the language. It's not, I don't think it's a technical exam. So yeah, in my time it was cancelled, and only interview round was there for the first screening, and I have to send another application with all the document attached in that round. So when you pass the first preliminary round, they will send you an email. The embassy will send you an email for how you have to prepare for the next round, what documents do you need for the next round, and they will tell you about your interview. During my time, my interview was through like it was online. I didn't have to go to the Delhi embassy or anything. It was online, and I have to fill the another application form, which again includes the same, almost the same thing which we had to fill in preliminary application form, but in more detail. Most important thing about the application form is its field of research, your statement of purpose and everything. You have to be very clear that why do you want to go in Japan, why do you want to study this, why do you want to continue research on this, and how it's gonna be beneficial to your country as well as to Japan. How like you have to convince them that you can do this, and it's a good research topic, and you will be able to carry it forward. You just have to convince them through your SOP, and you have to do that same in the interview. That's it all about. And with the application form, you have to also send set of documents that is listed on the MEXT website. So you should be check that thoroughly. There's a PDF attached on the MEXT website. If you go and there's everything mentioned, like all the steps, all the necessary details, all the necessary documents, and be sure to check that, read that PDF thoroughly, twice, thrice, like do read it thoroughly. So most of like main documents are like field of study and research plan, your academic transcript, your degrees, and your the recommendation letter from your professors, uh, and all sort of document like that. To check that PDF out, do check the website out to be updated, and don't miss on any of the document. It should be apostilled, and like every little detail is mentioned on the website and mentioned on the PDF. And again, if you have any further query, you can always contact to embassy through mail or call. They will answer your query. So when you prepare all the documents, all the necessary documents, and fill your application form, you have to mail them to the back to the embassy, Delhi embassy. Now this time you have to post them, all the necessary documents and everything. You have to post the package back to the Delhi embassy, and then you'll have an interview round, and then you have to wait, like it's a around 1 month wait. and if you pass, then they'll notify you around, it was around late July, I guess. For me it was around late July. So now if you have cleared all these procedure, like first screening, you have cleared all the procedure, then you have cleared the first screening of the MEXT. The next thing is that you have to obtain a letter of acceptance from the universities that you have mentioned in your application form. I forgot to mention that you have to mention 3 universities with the professor and the lab that you want to work with in your application form in the previous process steps. So now you have to contact them and like request for a letter of acceptance from them, from your professor and from your university. So at this point, if you are an embassy track scholar, the embassy will like give you an orientation about it, like how to proceed with all the procedures and how to contact to the universities. They will guide you about it, and they will give you a detailed list of all the universities and everything. So you don't have to be worrying much about that. They will guide you how you can do it and not. So you'll get a 1 month span where you have to contact to all the universities that you mentioned in your application form. You have to contact them and tell them that you have qualified the first screening of MEX and you want to enroll there as a master or PhD student, as a research student or whatever. So your goal should be at least have at least one letter of acceptance till the deadline. So now that you have got the at least one letter of acceptance, you have to mail that back to your embassy, and then it's a long waiting game till the embassy reply back to you. It will take around 3, 4, or even 5 months till they get back to you. So what happens during this time is like you have got a green flag from your embassy, and you have got a green flag like you have passed the procedure from your university. Now all your document go back to like go to the MEXT for the document verification and everything. So they will verify and get back to your embassy, and then your embassy or your university will inform you that whether you have passed the MEX scholarship or not, and that would be the final second screening. And for the embassy scholar, embassy track scholar, it takes around, like it comes for the next year's January or February. Like if you applied for 22, if you applied in May 2022, then your final result will come around January 2023 or February 2023. So yeah, it's a long waiting game for MEX. You should have patience, a lot of patience, if you want to apply for MEX, and you have to wait for a lot of time. So that's it. That was the most important procedures and points that I could think about to share with you guys. And now I'll answer some most frequently asked questions that you have DM'd or commented on my videos. So, like many of you have asked me that whether the Japanese proficiency is required or is it necessary before coming to Japan or before applying for MEXT. It is not necessary, but if you have it, then you'll have a extra added bonus point for your application. And yeah, it's like it will be a good, obviously a plus point for you if you already know basic Japanese, a little bit of Japanese, or if you have given JLPT or anything like that. But it's not necessary. I didn't have any prior Japanese knowledge, or I haven't given like any JLPT or IELTS or anything. So it's not like eligibility criteria, but it's good if you have some prior knowledge of it. One question was that what did you think your chances were after you passed the first screening? I think the answer of it depends upon the criteria. Like if you are a research, if you fall under research category, then if you have obtained for a letter of acceptance from your university, at least one letter of acceptance from your university, then the chances of getting into MEX, like qualifying the second screening, are higher. but I can't say that like for undergraduate student it's not same. For the undergraduate student it's different, but even for the research student you can't say that for 100%, like till you get your result you can't say anything for 100%. There are a lot of questions about documents. For the document I would suggest like please go through the website, MEXT website, and read PDFs and all the notice that they publish, uh, so that you won't miss any sort of document. So this was a brief introduction about a MEXT scholarship, like what it is, what it covers, and how you can apply for it. So if you want any specific details on any specific topic, you can DM me on my Instagram that I've linked below, and you can comment down in the video. I can make a Q&A, separate Q&A video about it. If you have any specific doubts on any specific thing, let me know. And it's a wrap for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. See you next time.